Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am so excited to have a conversation with actor Jimmi Simpson. You've seen Jimmy in Psych and the Psych movies. It's
Yeah.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Westworld, Dark Matter, and more. Thank you so much for being on my show. I am so excited to be talking with you.
I'm so excited to be talking with you, Maya. I've researched you. I know some of my friends have been lucky enough to be interviewed by you, and I just kind of have been taking a peek at the last few years of your life, and I'm just so impressed. I'm so impressed, and you're such a good interviewer, and so it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's get started. Who do you most admire and how has that affected the way you live your life?
Oh, wow. Um, you know, I that's a good one. I don't want to sound corny, but I got really lucky with parents. Um, and I just spoke to my mother this morning. I look after my father. He's got some stuff. They're older. And they both have shown me throughout their lives that they are who they are and that they follow through with promises and they mean what they say. And when they promise to do something, they work hard and they're just thoughtful folks, and it's a simple example, but I think it's such an essential one. So mom and dad, mom and dad, it's about that. Listen, I love this craft. I love actors. I love filmmakers, directors. I'm obsessed with Richard Burton and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and there's so many things that I love, and these artists have moved me in directions creatively that I can only hope to learn from these guys. But I am one who does think that, this is one thing. This business and all of that stuff, it's one thing, but your life and who you say you are and how you feel about yourself, that's where it's at, really, in this whole big life. And so to have people to kind of hop me onto the right track for that stuff, I feel really, really lucky.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Mm. Well, as you could tell, I have a close relationship with a feline. Um, that's one of the things. Um, eh, you know, Time with my partner, that's really special. But if it's just about like what do I do? Honestly, I'm a big bird watcher. It reminds me that I'm teeny and that whatever your ego gets in your way, you can't fly. These are creatures that are special. I wonder if in here, oh, you can see some hummingbirds right now. I wonder if I can, right, I can see if I can unplug this. Um, yeah, so there's hummingbirds in there, and those two feeders, and they bounce back and forth, and they're always there keeping company. So the little relationship I have with making sure these guys have their food, um, it brings me a lot of joy. Brings me a lot of joy. They bring me joy by flittering around and reflecting in the sun in ways that are magical. And all I have to do is cook up some sugar water every couple of days. So worth
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, so what has been the biggest obstacle you've overcome?
it. We all have different obstacles, and each of our obstacles feels like a lot to us. I was born with chronic back pain. I have something called kyphosis, kind of like scoliosis. Um, and yeah, it sucks. But there's other stuff, you know? And I think you're kind of the prime example of that, of like, yeah, that's hard, but there's other stuff that's great. And let's talk about that stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of physical stuff. Um, but honestly, I feel like as far as this industry goes, I was lucky. I wanted to become an English teacher. Maya, oh, she's scratching on the post right now. She might come up. Hi, baby. I wanted to be an English teacher, and our family didn't have much dough, and so I went to an affordable college. And baby, come here.
Aw.
That's Phoebe. Um, and I took a theater course on a lark, and a kind professor, her name is Karen Anselm, saw me and said, "Hey, you should put more time into this. I see something in you." And no one's ever said that to me before. So I followed her lead. And long story short, I ended up becoming an actor. Um, I was just, uh, I just wrote my first feature, and Karen appears in it. So she's stayed with me my entire life. And then finally, I was actually able to like bring her a little bit into my world the way she brought me into hers. And yeah, and so that was so full circle. I'm gonna I'm gonna move to a different location because someone's drilling stuff.
Home.
But yeah, so having someone that spots you and cares a little bit, gosh, that was everything. That was everything to me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So, if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
Um, uh, Avoid demonstrating selfishness around this
Mm.
creature.
Mm.
That might that totally gets my goat when it's just there's a lot of us here in the world, in this industry, whatever, and when people start getting real, I'm the king of the world, or uh putting themselves before many others, it rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so what lessons from your childhood have most impacted your worldview?
Um, I guess it's that those parents thing. It's kind of a double standard, when you're shown that this is the only way, and this is the only like fair way. And then as you get deeper in the world, and a lot of the times your folks don't warn you, mine didn't. A lot of it sucks, and there's a lot of people that are confused, and they're going to act in ways that just kind of illustrate their confusion or their fear, and it's going to come off mean, angry, vengeful, and it's those guys. That's so hard for me to wrap my mind around the fact that not everybody gets it, if that's a thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
There's just so much fun. There's so much to share, so much to collaborate on. And then, it's just ultimately what I realized is sure, when someone shows you their true colors, believe them, but also the real ones are real. Stick with them. Don't forget them. So I have a core group of friends, and most of my friends have come with me through some kind of difficult thing, and we've kind of reaffirmed our love for each other through experience and through that life is can get really hard. And so it's great to have dependable family, chosen family.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, yeah, I'm big on that the finding your having your family and finding your chosen family.
Absolutely. And it's there, and there's so many people that are, and sometimes we get stuck with a little tough family, and we're like, people don't love. No, you haven't knocked on the right door. I
Yeah.
was actually I was excited. I did a movie that will be coming out called Audrey's Children, and it's about a doctor named Audrey Evans. Do you know this doctor?
I don't.
It's most people don't, and it's a beautiful story. I'm just gonna give you a quick synopsis because I she showed me I was able to meet Audrey Evans. She passed while we were filming, okay, in her 90s, and I played her working partner, surgeon partner, Dan Danjo. Um, but what she did is she came to America from England, right? And back then in the 60s, women were not surgeons. They were not doctors. They were nurses mostly. So nurses in America were given all of the like children's oncology cases. And so they didn't really have the facilities, and there was a lot, obviously, it was not a good survival rate. And so a lot of the male doctors were like, well, I don't want that on my record. What's to be done? Leave it to the nurses. Well, Audrey Evans showed up and said, no, it doesn't have to be that way. And she went to Philadelphia, CHOP, Children's Hospital Philadelphia, and saw all these kids in the hallway, all of their family filling the hallway with no clear idea. And so she said, first of all, we need to figure out why these kids are dying. And so she, for the first time, breached the walls of other hospitals to get more information on neuroblastoma. And she actually staged neuroblastoma. All and by accruing information, telling hospitals, look, together we can figure this out. And a lot of those 90% death rates went to about 15, 10% because of one person caring. And then she found a man, not her brother, but she told him about this idea. This is good. And he jumped in. And then the next thing she did is she saw the parents who carry everything their child is carrying. And she said, let's set up a place for them to sleep. And she came up with Ronald McDonald House
Oh.
all by herself. And it's just like, and she did it all without, she was from UK. She did it all in a foreign country by making connections with other caring people. And she changed history. And it just spoke so many volumes to me of like the power of one connected. It might
Yeah.
take one person with that thought, but gosh, no one can really do anything without friends helping you achieve something so gigantic. So again, not to go on, but it's all connected. It really is all connected, and it's also important. And the people who put it to the forefront of their life, they make so much change. It's easy in this industry to kind
Yeah.
of get confused about what's important. They want you to think it's this or and we tell stories that change lives ultimately, and hopefully for the better. And that's what I think I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I hope I make you laugh on
Yeah.
sight. I hope I do. I love Mary Lightly. James Roday is my best friend, and it's just like, yeah. But that's also part of it. One time, I was my brother saw two tours in Iraq, and I had just moved to LA, and I was going to an audition, and it was to like make a farting noise in something. It was very early in my career. It was something silly. And on the freeway back, an emergency vehicle had to get through, an ambulance. And so we all pulled over. Of course, someone with some, because 405 is packed with people in their own head, right?
Yeah.
So we all pulled, and I saw this happening, and I started weeping, Maya. And I pulled over, and I started thinking, I can't believe that I'm choosing to commit my life to what I just auditioned for. A silly thing when there's people. Also, this was on the heels of 9/11. I lived in New York for that. I saw everybody come together, you know. And so I called my brother, who again, he's not an actor, man of few words, you want him in the military because he cares, but he works hard. So I said, Mike, I don't know why I'm doing this. And he goes, Jim, I can't believe you'd even say that. Do you know how how hard it is to go through what we go through on the battlefield, and literally the only nugget of relief we get at the end of that night is we put in a DVD, and all of a sudden we're not there anymore. And you guys have taken us for a break. And so, yeah, we can change minds, and we can also take you for a break. We could give you a little break. And so that's why I'm here, you know? That's why I'm in this industry. If the industry has had it with me, I'll figure out a different way to tell stories like that, or to make people laugh. But um, that's what drives me.
Wow. I love that. That's incredible. What you do is very important because there's so many things I don't know how well I would have gotten through without having like Psych, which is like my biggest comfort show, and all these shows that mean so much to me. So
That's so great. That brings me so much happiness.
I love your glasses, by the way.
Dude, I love yours.
Oh,
I
thank
was looking at
you.
your throughout your interviews. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
thank you.
Yeah, light blue never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
I like the
Um,
piece of your sweatshirt. Actually, I just went there. So one of the fellas who helped produce this movie had a couple spare tickets to see the Eagles, the band, play in Las Vegas. And so I actually got to just see them, and that was
oh,
phenomenal. Have you been to Las Vegas?
that's so cool. Yeah, I was actually born in Las
Oh
Vegas.
my gosh.
Um yeah, and I went July 2023 with my family to see Kelly Clarkson there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she was doing a residency, so we went back to Las Vegas, and after we spent a weekend there, and afterwards, my sister and I were thanking our mom for moving us out of Las Vegas,
Yes.
because
Yes.
it's very hot there and a lot going on. So,
So much going on. I love Colorado.
yeah. Yeah, it's actually snowing today. Um, and snow is that's one of the things that brings me so much joy. It just makes me so happy. So
I love that. It's so good. I grew up in New Jersey, so I had snow
oh,
for
cool.
4 months every winter. Really, really, really rural New Jersey. I actually come from Hackettstown, New Jersey, where they've made all the M&Ms, Snickers, Skittles, Starburst you've ever had in that little town.
Wow.
It's our one little piece of industry. It's a very rural church town. Excuse me, a farm town, but but we have M&M and all of the ones you've eaten. And actually, they roast the peanuts for the peanut M&Ms every week, and the whole town smells like the roasted peanuts. It's cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Keeping you
cool.
in the groove.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so I am pop culture obsessed, and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching.
Okay.
Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
Well, it's so late. But I had a really busy couple of years, and so White Lotus, I just watched and love so much. Steve Zahn is an actor that I've looked up to my whole career. He plays the dad in White Lotus. He's in everything. But yeah, I watched it for him. Also, I love Mike White, the director, creator, writer, and I was just so happy to see people again just taking us out of this world completely
Yeah,
for these hours.
yeah.
Complete departure from my really kind of hectic reality is watching the madness, almost, the spectacle of White Lotus. What about you? What are you obsessed with?
I just watched the show Shining Vale
All right.
uh,
I'm writing that
with
down.
it's with Courtney Cox and Mira
Oh,
Sorvino. Um,
love them.
Yeah, and a ton of other people, and it's so good. It's a horror comedy, and so
Oh,
it's very funny, and it's also it gets like the more it goes on, like it gets really creepy, but it's also really funny. So
that's kind of right. That's right up my alley.
yeah.
Yeah, I love some comedy with a little horror, little genre side effect.
Yeah. I normally don't I can't really watch horror. I like thrillers, but I can't do horror. But I like it when it has comedy in
Yeah,
it.
it's a little tongue in cheek, and so you know it's not
Yeah,
too serious. Nobody's getting tortured, you know. I
yeah,
like that too. Yeah.
yeah. There's a ghost in the show, and it's um play. This isn't a spoiler. It's just Mira Sorvino plays the ghost, and my mom was joking about when we started watching it. She acts. We took a break, and she like went upstairs and dropped something, and I was like, "What? What is that?" And she was joking that it was that we had a ghost. And I was like, if it's Mira Sorvino, I'm fine with
That's
it.
fine. Absolutely.
Yeah. If she's the ghost, I'm fine with that because I'm such a fan of hers. So,
That is a charming and lovely ghost to have, I would say.
yeah. Yeah. And then as the show went on and it got creepier, I was like, maybe I changed my mind.
Yeah.
But
So, okay, so it actually got fully creepy.
yes, it did. Yeah, it started off really funny, and then as it went on, it was still really funny, and it also got like a lot darker. But
Okay.
then it was like it still had that balance of comedy and horror. So
Did you have you tried? I mean, it's more comedy, a little drama. Nobody Wants This on Netflix.
yeah, I
You love
love
that?
that.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too. Me too. I
yeah,
watched all of that. My friend Justine is in it. She plays the sister.
yeah.
And she's actually from Colorado.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll give her a buzz and let her know that I talked to you in case she's someone you might want to hit up down the
I
lane.
would love that. I've been trying to interview her since the show came out. So,
Oh my God, let's do it.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, that's so great. I mean, you know, everybody's a little busy, but I know just sometimes people just need that point of connection of like, oh, just show them who they are, and they're like, oh my God, yeah. So we'll see what we can do. I'll talk to you off the Zoom.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also it's not a new thing, but just since we were talking about horror comedies, there's one of my favorite movies. It's called Little Evil. Um, and it's on Netflix.
Okay.
And it is it's a little bit creepy, but it's more comedy than horror. It's like a dark comedy, and it's
It's a movie.
hilarious.
It's a movie, not a show, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna find that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm getting so many good tips.
Yeah.
Oh, Evangeline Lilly, she's good. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
Adam Scott, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many good people. Cool.
Yeah. I love everybody in the movie.
Oh, that's so many good people. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I love it. Nice. New
Yeah.
stuff, new stuff.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think of the movie.
I will absolutely.
Okay. Yay. Yeah. Yeah, so when you have a day off, what would your perfect day look like?
Um, Perfect day. Well, I guess with the day off, you'd want that kind of later rise. It's not too many days that you get to kind of. So I would a perfect day, like a post crazy day. I'll sleep in. I will let the cat get basically force me to get up. Um, I I have a couple of friends that I like to talk to. I don't talk much on social media just because sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. I have ADHD and sometimes it's hard. It's hard for social media. It's just hard. It's so much stuff,
Yeah.
so stimulating that I just sometimes don't look. And so um, I like to talk to my friends and play with my cat. And I like to write. Like writing is calming to me. So I always have about 10 scripts going, but it's not like, oh, but I'm also have ADHD, so, I'll finish two of them. Um, but I like to collect. I have a thought, and the ADHD, it's like you get a lot of ideas, but they get jettisoned almost instantly. So as you age with ADHD, you realize, okay, I can stop this by writing it down. I can stop losing all of this information, all of these ideas, by writing them down. So I spend a lot of time doing that, but my life is also kind of busy. So on days off, I don't have anything to do. Maybe I'll put like the TV on or something that's not really focusing, and then I'll just jot stuff for 5 hours, and I'll make a little coffee or a cocoa, and the hummingbirds are right there, and that's just like heaven.
Yeah.
What do you like to do on a day off?
Um, well, first of all, I love that. That sounds like a really good day off. I love talking with my sister, spending time with my family. Um, and whenever I can talk with my best friend, that automatically makes it a really good day. Whenever I go to LA, we always spend lots of time together, so it's very fun.
That is nice. Hit me up next time you guys are hanging.
I will.
Yeah. Also, I noticed that which interview? I think it was on your 100th interview. You have a little 100th little special thing. And you're mentioning someone on the rookie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and so I saw that and I just wrote my showrunners. I'm on a show now called Dark Matter with Jennifer Connelly. Um, um, and it's a really great show. And I asked them if you could come by for a set visit, and they said, "Oh my God, of course." So if that's something you want to do, it's the show isn't horror, but it's definitely suspenseful and intense. And
Yeah.
the actor, he's mostly just I think it's his first TV show. He's a movie guy, Joel Edgerton, the actor
Yeah.
from yeah. So he's the lead, and Jennifer Connelly are the leads. But Joel has a lot of stuff to do, and he's amazing. They're so nice. The showrunners are so sweet. I like their names are Blake and Jackie, and they're married, and they write this together, and they're so sweet, and they're from they might even be from Colorado, some northern part. Um, but anyway, so we'll be in touch, Maya. And then if it's something you want to do, it's in Chicago, you know,
Yeah.
and it's a good group. Have your family like check the show out with you and like see if like it's even a thing you'd want to be on the set of, but it's like
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool show.
Thank you so much. That
Yeah.
would be incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
thank
Good. Of
you.
course. Come on.
Um, so what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
Um, I'd like to say coming of age. Um, but it might be just more absurdist, like a Disney cartoon on acid. Because I am who I am, and I just kind of moved through it all. So there's not been a whole bunch of like, oh, I gotta be an actor, or it's not like I haven't had that. I've been like, I wonder if I can tell stories. Oh, I can tell stories here. Great. I'm going to tell stories, and I'm going to like, in the beginning of the career, there was a lot of like, I played almost exclusively jerks, sarcastic creeps. Okay. And there's people going like, does that bother you? You keep playing. I'm like, first, no. First of all, that's fun to play for someone I'm not. And second of all, I can pay my rent. This is amazing. And so I've been kind of walking around like, wow, this is just great. Um, because I guess I didn't have much expectation. You know what I mean? And so I'm not super attached to much besides love. So that's why I say a Disney movie on acid, just because there's not too much rhyme or reason, but I mean well, and it's colorful,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I love that. I would see that movie.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. When I picture my life being told as a movie, I've always wanted it to be a rom-com and a musical.
Oh
So,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I like that for you very much, Maya.
Thank
I
you.
could tell that's in your soul.
Oh, thank you. Um, so what three words best describe you?
Mm. Um, um, three words that describe me. I would say, uh, I mean, well-intentioned is a hyphenate, but I think that goes far in this world, and that's truly what I try to be, um, creative and loyal.
I like those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just spitballing, but ask me in a week, it might change.
Yeah, I'll send you a message in a week.
All right. Status. Where are you?
Yeah. Um, so do you have any irrational fears?
Um, I think that it's just so typical. The only irrational, my biggest like natural fear, and I'm all about like everything is. I do think everything's connected. I do think it's all about energy. Not to sound too crunchy, but I think energy is eternal, and I think it leaves marks in a beautiful way. However, I'm terrified of sharks. I'll never. I won't go on a long boat ride because I don't want it makes no sense. So that's so irrational. But for some reason, the sea is the one thing that just seems to have signposts saying, no, this is not yours, humans. This is not where you go. And so that's my rational fear. Sharks and ocean water.
Mm. Yeah, I get that. There was one movie in particular that made me terrified of sharks, and that was the movie Soul Surfer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
it was such a well done movie and it's so good. And that one scene I saw it when it first came out, and I still have not been able to get that one scene out of my head.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
So hard.
So yeah, afterwards I was like, I'm not going in the ocean.
Yeah.
Good thing I live in Colorado where there's really
Perfect.
not an ocean.
Yes. No oceanfront property in Colorado, thank goodness.
Yeah. Um, so what is your most memorable moment from being on set?
Ugh. Wow. Most memorable moment from being on set. There's been so many, so many moments. Um, I would say, there is I'm, as you'll see, there's nothing precious about me, Maya. Like I tell you like it is. I, I'm a craftsman. I'm learning as I go. I want to be as good as possible. I haven't always been. I'm a human being developing my craft as I figure out this world. And so, the front end of my career was like I said, it was a lot of like comedy and a lot of me showing up to kind of like make a little moment funny or weird or like I'm not creating the information in the stories, in those stories. I was there, other people had to carry that weight, and I was there to be like, hey, and then I run, and then the audience laughs at that moment. And so with Westworld, there's one in particular scene where it was towards the beginning. Westworld was a big learning like experience for me just because I had never been asked to tell the story solely through existence, basically not through any bits or skits, but just to be the story. And so there is a day where that kind of clicked in and what that means to my instrument. And it's not like two different styles of acting, but it's a different responsibility. And I felt that, and I think I did an okay job. But what happened with that is it brought this deeper respect for all of the artists that have done that before me. And I'm like, oh, it's this nuanced, and everybody's process is different. But for me, it's this nuanced adjustment in how you're seeing the work and how you're seeing your character in the work, and it all of a sudden makes sense, and it's a little breathtaking because it's like that's responsibility. But I took it on, and I was relatively okay with myself. So that was that big thing. It's like the responsibility of the craft that you have. You're not hired to show up and be okay looking and do a little. You're there to be the story, and it's harder than it looks sometimes, you know. Um, it can be really difficult to try to do something beautiful. And I think I kind of grappled with all of that because prior to that, pretty much I was just like, I know how I got it. I got this. I know how to do this. You need some funny, you need some poignancy. Let me just drop it in with effects, basically. Um, so yeah, that was a big one for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 Um, yeah.
A little
Um,
long, but it's like, yeah, but it was real. It was real.
yeah, I love that. Yeah. Um, so I just have a couple more questions for you if that works.
Yes, of course.
Um, Thank you. So, what show or movie do you find yourself quoting more often than you would like?
More often than I would like, it would have to be Caddyshack, just because uh, somehow that movie's landed in my top three of all of all films. And whereas I am a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest guy, or Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf guy, the others I love just delving into like deep human reality. And Caddyshack has none of that. And I love it. I love it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my brain is just like constantly filled with like quotes from shows and movies and like these scene references just that I reference all the time. And so it's like always intentional that I want to quote it. But one of the shows that I quote all the time is Psych.
Mhm.
So that's one of my most quoted.
There's so many good quotes from that show.
Yeah.
And this and they've just been kind of like, yeah, oh, I'm actually gonna do in April, I'm gonna do a psych con,
Oh,
psych
yeah.
convention.
Yeah.
Uh, so why don't we just kind of like get we'll just get we'll stay in touch, right? We'll you and
Yeah.
I will stay in touch and we'll just see, what your logistics are of see if there's anything. So basically, you know, um as far as I know, it's me and James and Dule and Maggie and Tim and everybody. And we'll all be there. I know half of us know you, so we'll just let's get the dates. See the folks that run your life and the folks that run my life can help make this happen, right?
Oh, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
Yeah, I saw when it was announced, I was like, oh, I really want to go. So
yeah. It should be pretty cool.
yeah.
I've never done anything like that with Psych before, so I'm psyched to do it.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's so cool.
yeah.
Um, so I just have one more question for you.
Okay.
Um, I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, the one that spoke to me is a single spark of imagination can turn a wall into a door and a hurdle into a stepping stone. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Um, well, I love a good quote. The most recent one is probably the simplest and chillest one, but I think I just like a couple days ago saw Willie Nelson saying, "Worry and never fix nothing." And believe it or not, those are from powerful. Those are some powerful
Yeah,
words to try to stick in there because we all want to worry about it all. We
yeah.
really do. I I found myself Maya this morning in a place where I was just like, it's so much like this movie and there's just been a lot of stuff and it's all been really arduous and difficult. And often people dropping balls, just life, right? And I found myself really worked up last night and this morning about just worry, worry, worry. How can I fix this? How can I fix this? That's our big thing, right? And and then I just started thinking about you. And I started thinking about the fact that I was just spinning about some stuff and it's just stuff. It's just stuff. It's just a movie, it's just some money. It's really not that big of a deal. And I was excited to talk to you, you know, because I was really moved by a lot of the things I read about you and that story, Audrey's children really hit me. And so amen, Willie Nelson. Like I got to focus on you. Honestly, it was just like how it's all this stuff, and there's like no, what is now? Maya is now, and I felt so much better. So thank you for that, because it's
Oh,
truly what it is. It's what's important, and we're all gonna do this. We're all gonna get overworked and worked up about stuff, and get into that little hamster wheel. But there's so much good stuff too. You are some of the good stuff. That
thank
is some of the
you.
good stuff right there.
Yeah. 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 Well, so are you. I was not feeling great this morning, but I was so excited to talk with you and just focusing on that. So
That makes me so happy. I'm glad we were able to do that for each other, Maya.
yeah, me too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, that was my final question for you. I've just had the best time talking with you. You've made my day, so thank you so much.
Same, Maya. Truly, I can't thank you enough. I needed this today.
So did I, so thank you.
Amazing. Well,
Yeah,
I can't wait to continue our friendship. I know you have
me
outros to
too.
do, so I'll stand by. But thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to stay in touch and keep talking.
Amen.
Yeah, so thank you so much for taking the time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Same to you, Maya.
Thank
You're a
you.
blessing.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's edition of the latest with Maya.
Yay.